What I want to talk about in this video is kind of an overview of your observation and participation, what we consider to be your first field experience in professional education. So the requirements for observation and participation, or O&P, is that you attend your assigned school for 50 hours. Each time that you go, you'll have a timesheet, and that is posted to Canvas. So you will take that timesheet with you. Your cooperating teacher will sign it. Sometimes you'll forget your timesheet. That's totally fine. Have them sign twice the next time. It's pretty laid back. You'll also have your cooperating teacher complete an evaluation of your participation, and you want to make sure that it's positive. Whether that evaluation is positive or negative really determines whether or not you're going to do well in the class and portfolio as well. The evaluation is pretty much just on positive dispositions. By that I mean the evaluation gives your cooperating teacher an opportunity to rate you on your attitude, your work ethic, whether you actually tried to engage with students, whether you asked questions or not, if you followed the rules, and it allows them some space to add some comments. And this is where I typically see things from teachers talking about how excited they are that you're going to be joining the field of education, and that you've demonstrated some really positive characteristics, and that the cooperating teacher was really excited to see how you related with the students, and how well you did with the assignments that they asked you to do for them, and that sort of a thing. On the rare occasion, we do see cooperating teachers report things such as students struggled to attend on time, student typically left early for the day, the student was on their phone repeatedly even after being asked not to be on the phone. God, please do not be on your phone. If your cooperating teacher is teaching and you're sitting in the back of the room, don't be on your phone. I'm not kidding. Those are the phone calls that I get. No, please don't do that. So positive dispositions, that's your work ethic and maturity, all of that sort of thing. So the requirement here is that you have a completed positive cooperating teacher evaluation, and that means no unresolved complaints. So if something happens and you need to learn not to use your cell phone, if that happens and your teacher says, hey, we need you to not be on your cell phone anymore, and you comply with that, well, that's a resolved complaint. But if you leave the O&P placement and you haven't resolved any of the issues that you may be having with your cooperating teacher, that's a problem. Along with that, I need to say that it's your responsibility to build a positive relationship with your cooperating teacher. It's your responsibility. It's not my responsibility. It's yours. So when you go into the classroom for the first time, you want to make sure that you are treating that cooperating teacher with respect, that you are gracious, that you are thanking them. Remember, these people are volunteering to have you in their classroom, and it may seem like that's not a big deal, but it is. Having one more person in your classroom is a big deal. Having a person in your classroom who really doesn't know very much at all about teaching, who is probably going to look at things that you do and critique you with no basis for that critique, that's asking a lot of somebody. In addition, you're probably going to have some questions. You're probably going to want them to spend a little bit of time with you. Now, that's time that they could be spending doing something else. I want you to always remember that this is a voluntary position, that this is a voluntary opportunity that they're giving to you. And so even when things may not be going as good as perhaps you may have liked, always be gracious for the opportunity. So what I want to let you know is that when the placements come out, you'll receive the following information. So you'll receive an email that has the school name and address, a list of all of the students in 210 and Intro to Ed who will be assigned to that school, your cooperating teacher's name, grade, if it's in middle school, probably the content as well, and a room number. You'll also be given contact information to set up your first visit. So setting up that first visit is your responsibility as well. And this is really all you moving your career forward, which is a pretty exciting thing, actually. So once you receive that placement, your next step is to research the district and the school. You're going to need to find out as much as you possibly can about what's going on in that district, what that school is like. Go to the school's website, go to the district's website, find out what's going on. You want to know, how many kids are in the school? What does the school look like? What's the community like? All of that. And it's also going to be an assignment, so it'll be part of what you have to do anyways. You'll also want to map the distance to the school, figure out some potential days and times that you could begin your visits, and then you want to reach out to your cooperating teacher and email them to establish a time for you to come in for your first visit. So, about contacting your cooperating teacher or your CT. Please know that this is a formal workplace email. So you should not start it out with hey or hey ya or hi, none of that. No. You'll want to also refer to them with their proper title, such as Mr. Schmidt. You need to have a greeting and a closing. You must use full sentences and proof your writing, because one of the things that a lot of teachers hold in high regard is spelling and grammar. I know I struggle with it myself, but you want to make sure that this email you're sending, which is actually your very first professional impression, you want to make sure that it is quality and projects the image that you want it to. So I have some sample email text here, and you can read this at your leisure, and you'll notice that there is a Dear Mr. So-and-so, introduction, my name is blah, I'm a pre-service education student at UW-Whitewater studying. So I've given you an example, and this is how you would write a formal letter. Notice that there is actually punctuation. Notice that there is a Dear Mr. So-and-so, salutation, and then at the bottom there is a closing, a conclusion, sincerely, and then your name, and you can use sincerely, kindest regards, that sort of thing. So you'll want to arrange your first visit. I'm going to go back to that sample email text. So one of the things that I put in here is this whole, I'm excited to get started, and I'm providing several potential dates for my first visit. So come up with several different options for them to choose from. And then if that doesn't work, you'll notice in here I'm saying if there's a more convenient day or time of day for my visit, please let me know. So this way you're throwing some dates out there and, really taking the initiative to structure things so that they don't have to, go back and forth with you a million times to pin down a date and a time. Okay, so when you're arranging your first visit, you want to make sure that, like I told you, pre-plan the location. You can get Google Satellite View and take a look at where the parking lots are and all of that sort of thing.